Hey you all, this is Brian, and you are watching the Dark Age channel.
So, as we step into 2025, us preppers are faced with a familiar yet daunting question. How do we gear up for a future that's as unpredictable as a roll of the dice? Welcome to the challenging yet thrilling world of prepping, where certainty is a luxury and adaptability is our best tool. In this uncharted territory, we navigate without the aid of crystal balls or prophetic visions. Our approach? A blend of keen observation, clear-headed analysis of global trends, and a healthy skepticism towards those bold, often misguided predictions that flood our feeds every new year. It's not about foreseeing the future in a mystical way. It's about being smart, discerning, and prepared for the curveballs life throws our way. This year, as we delve into the vast landscape of potential threats, we recognize the immense value of staying grounded and realistic. The future, with all its twists and turns, remains shrouded in mystery. Our goal is not to predict it with precision, but to be ready for its various possibilities. In this video, we'll talk about the biggest threats to preppers this year. We shouldn't just stock up on supplies or hone our survival skills. We should also sharpen our minds, challenge our assumptions, and stay alert to the subtle shifts that could signal significant changes. It's about being proactive, not reactive. So, let's dive into this exploration with open minds and a keen sense of awareness. We're not just preparing for specific scenarios, we're fortifying ourselves against the very concept of uncertainty. In the dynamic world of prepping, readiness is more than a motto, it's the very essence of our lifestyle. Here's to facing 2025, not just with supplies in hand, but with knowledge, resilience, and an unyielding spirit of preparedness. Number 1. Risk of World War III. And lastly, 2025 is a year where the drumbeats of World War III are getting louder and harder to ignore. With major powers like Russia and China flexing their muscles and tensions boiling over, the risk of a global conflict isn't just a chapter from a history book. It's a real, breathing possibility that's knocking on our door. Let's connect the dots from our previous talk about the superpower struggles. These tensions aren't happening in isolation. They're part of a larger, more complex web that could entangle us all in a conflict on a scale we haven't seen in decades. Russia's bold move in Ukraine wasn't just a regional issue. It sent shockwaves across the globe. And with China harassing Taiwan nonstop, we're looking at a powder keg waiting to go off. Oh, and there's Israel waging war against Hamas, Hezbollah, and possibly Iran. These jihadists are allied with major powers like China and Russia, and they're not just political chess games, they're all signaling a trajectory toward a large-scale conflict. When they start throwing their weight around, it's not just their neighbors who need to worry. It's a global concern because in today's interconnected world, a spark in one corner can light a fire across the planet. What's particularly unnerving is the mix of covert and overt actions we're seeing. It's not just the troop movements and public declarations. It's the cyber attacks, the espionage, the shadowy moves that don't make the headlines but are steadily ratcheting up the tension. This mix of visible and hidden threats makes the situation even more volatile and unpredictable. So, what does this mean for us preppers? It means that we need to be prepared for a scenario where these tensions boil over into something bigger. It's about understanding that a world war in today's world wouldn't just be fought on distant battlefields. It could affect our daily lives in profound ways. Supply chain disruptions, economic turmoil, cyber warfare, these are just some of the ways a global conflict could hit home. And number 2, superpower collapse. This year, we're not just talking about small-scale issues, we're staring down the barrel of a potential game-changer, the collapse of some of the world's biggest players. Yep, the superpowers, Russia, China, and our very own America. We're all facing some real tough times, and the ripple effects could shake us all up. Let's break it down. These aren't just countries, they're behemoths on the global stage, each grappling with their own set of challenges. Russia's got sanctions biting at its economy, creating a whole bunch of problems. China, on the other hand, is like a house of cards economically speaking. People are struggling to get the basics, like food and shelter. Then there's America, deeply divided and heading into an election cycle that's likely to stir the pot even more. What happens if one of these giants stumbles? It's not just their problem, it's a global domino effect waiting to happen. These countries aren't in a vacuum. They're interconnected in ways that affect us all. If one goes down, it could trigger all sorts of chaos, from supply chain snarls to economic turmoil worldwide. And let's not forget the leadership factor. Each of these countries has its own leadership struggles, and if those leaders falter or fall, it could mean a whole new ballgame. Imagine Russia without Putin's iron grip, or China with Xi Jinping losing control. And what about Biden's America with its deep political divisions? The leadership landscape in these countries is more than just politics. It's the stability of the world at stake. So, what's the bottom line for us? As preppers, we need to keep a keen eye on these superpowers. Their stability, or lack thereof, can have direct consequences for us no matter where we live. It's not just about stockpiling supplies, it's about understanding the bigger picture and being ready for the global shifts that could come our way. Number 3. Extreme weather and natural disasters. Extreme weather and natural disasters are not just potential headlines anymore. They're becoming our new normal, and let me tell you, it's not just about packing an extra umbrella or throwing on a warmer jacket. We're talking about serious, life-altering events that are knocking on our door. First up, let's chat about these extreme weather patterns. We're not just seeing a few extra inches of snow or a couple of hot days. We're talking about massive snowstorms that can shut down cities, heat waves that make you feel like you're living on the sun, and storms so intense they'll make you think twice about leaving your house. Scientists are telling us that this year could be the warmest we've seen in over a century. That's not just a statistic, that's a red flag waving right in our faces. But wait, there's more on the horizon. Ever heard of a solar storm? Well, back in 1859, a colossal burst of solar energy hit Earth, causing all sorts of chaos with the telegraph systems. Imagine that happening today, with our smartphones, computers, and all the tech we rely on. We could be looking at a world where our gadgets go dark, power grids fail, and our whole digital life gets put on pause. That's not science fiction. That's a possibility we have to prepare for. And then there are the volcanoes. Yeah, those majestic mountains aren't just for pretty postcards. They pack a punch that can shake the world. Just a decade ago, a volcano in Iceland erupted and caused global disruptions. Now, seismologists are saying another big eruption could be on the way. When these giants blow their tops, it's not just the immediate area that feels the heat. We're talking about effects that can ripple across the globe. So what's the takeaway for us preppers? It's time to get serious about preparing for extreme weather and natural disasters. These are part of our world now, and we've got to be ready to face them head on. Number 4. Economic threats. In 2025, we're staring down the barrel of some pretty hefty economic challenges, and it's high time we talk about them. From the ever-present ghost of unemployment to the creeping monster of inflation, it seems like our wallets are in for a wild ride. And let's not even get started on the looming shadow of a potential economic collapse. It's enough to make any savvy prepper sit up and take notice. Now, here's a twist in our tale. Artificial intelligence, AI. Yeah, AI's been the talk of the town for a while. But now it's more than just fancy tech talk, it's a real threat to job security in a bunch of sectors. We're talking about jobs across the board, from coders who thought they were safe to office workers who never saw it coming. AI's getting smarter and more efficient every day, doing tasks that used to be our bread and butter. The impact? We're looking at a future where jobs are scarcer and competition is tougher than a $2 steak. But wait, there's more. Let's chat about our aging electrical infrastructure. With all these advancements, like electric vehicles zooming around and AI doing its thing, we're putting a heck of a strain on our power grids. And guess what? Our ability to generate and store electricity hasn't quite caught up. We're using juice like there's no tomorrow, but the supply isn't keeping pace. What does that mean for us regular folks? Higher utility bills and the ever-looming threat of brownouts and blackouts. So, what's the bottom line here? Well, we're looking at a cocktail of economic threats that could shake us to our core. Unemployment, inflation, AI taking over jobs, and a strained electrical infrastructure, it's a recipe for some serious trouble. And as these issues intertwine, they don't just spell trouble for individuals. They could spiral into a full-blown economic collapse. Personal disasters. Very often we find ourselves caught up in the macro-level threats, global shakeups, and the larger-than-life disasters. But here's the thing. It's often the smaller, more personal calamities that hit us hardest. That's right, I'm talking about the everyday crises that sneak up on us. Job loss, housing woes, and health issues in the family. These personal disasters, while they may not make headlines, are just as critical as any global threat. Let's face it, job security isn't what it used to be. The landscape is changing, and not always in our favor. One day you're comfortably employed, and the next, you might find yourself updating your resume, caught off guard by a sudden downsizing or a shift in the industry. It's a reality many of us face, and it's a stark reminder of why we need to be prepared for such personal upheavals. Housing, too, is a shaky ground for many. Whether it's grappling with rising rent or the fear of losing your home, housing issues can throw a serious wrench in your well-laid plans. It's not just about having a roof over your head, it's about the security and stability that come with it. And let's not forget the health of our loved ones. It's one thing to stockpile food and gear up for a natural disaster, but it's a whole different ballgame when a family member falls ill or needs extra care. That kind of personal crisis can be all-consuming, and it's crucial to have a plan in place. Now, I'm not saying we should overlook the bigger picture or ignore the potential global crises on the horizon, but let's not forget the importance of being prepared for the personal disasters that are more likely to directly affect our day-to-day lives. After all, it's these local and personal challenges that often demand our immediate attention and resources. That's all for now. If this video was helpful or entertaining, please consider leaving a like, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe. And tap that little bell icon for more. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.